So here's the thing that so in the case of male sexual organs, I mean, so the most typical part, the most typical sexual organ of a male body is that shaft, or is that penis. But actually, so in the case of, or in the body of a man, so if you're a woman, or if you're a female prostitute, so you have some parts of the body of a man you can stimulate, and which means, so of course, it's possible to stimulate, for example, the forehead of a man, but actually, that man would feel nothing about his own forehead getting tickled, for example. So which is not what I'm talking about. And what I'm talking about is a sexual stimuli, or what I'm talking about here is a sexual stimulus, or sexual stimuli. And this time, so the recommendable sexual organ from which you can give the man sexual comfort, or sexual excitement is perineum. The perineum of the body of the perineum of the body of a man is a recommendable part for girls and ladies to stimulate or to tickle. And in this episode, I recommend that you, which means, and in this sentence, so I assume that you are ladies or girls. But actually, which one is fine. If which one you want is fine to understand who yourself is, who yourself are. And but actually, so I recommend that you tickle the perineum of a man, which is what I'd like you to know this time. And wait a moment, please. And I'm going to tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode. And before which, I'd like to tell you, I'd like to greeting phrase. I haven't told you the introduction of this podcast. Anyway, so hello everybody. I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. And so my first language doesn't distinguish the pronunciation of L and R, and I'm an East Asian person living in an East Asian developed country. And but actually, in the future of my country is dim or considerably dark, because of the declining population of this country. Anyway, so which is why I began to create content in English, and which is why, which is, and the future of this country, or the dark future of this country is a primary reason why I'm speaking English even in this episode. And my country has nothing to do with this episode. And this time, the title and the conclusion of this episode, which is what I have to say this time. And wait a moment, please. Title is "The perineum is a great spot to arouse men," and the conclusion is "Tickling the perineum of men is recommendable." So maybe the correct term of English the correct term of English language is perineums of men. But actually, and so each man has a perineum, which is the correct understanding of a human body. And so I investigated what kind of organ or what kind of body part what kind of bodily part perineum is. And wait a moment, please. I investigated this on Wikipedia, and according to which, so the perineum of human body is located between the anus and the scrotum in the body of a man. And we may have the perineum, which in the case of a woman, so the perineum is located between the anus and vulva or vulva. I don't know how to. I don't know the correct pronunciation of vulva or vulva. Anyway, so we may have well, each woman has perineum, and in her case, the location of her perineum is between vulva and the anus, and that part is a sexual organ, which means, so if you are a prostitute, or if you are a female prostitute, and this time, who's in this time, so whose perineum is stimulated is that of man, or that of a man, or yeah, that of a man, or not that of a woman, but actually, so maybe it's fine to tickle the perineum of male bodies, and because maybe because their perineums would be their own sexual organs, for female perineums would be their own sexual organs. So, but actually, this time, what I'm assuming is that you are ladies, or you are girls, or anyway. So it's fine that if you are men, and if you are boys. But actually, the situation assumed or hypothesized in this episode is that the perineum of a man, or of a boy is stimulated, or is tickled, or is poked in some cases by for example, by the fingers of girls or ladies, which is the hypothesized situation of this episode is dealing with, and so that is recommendable. And so why I decided to create this episode, why I decided to create this episode is that, so the fact that the perineum is a sexual organ has been well recognized, or has been recognized widespread. But actually, so recently I saw a porn video. I watched a porn video, and which dealt with the sexual comfort, or the sexual play, tickling or stimulating the perineum of man. So, which is why, so I decided to create this one, and what I saw was a porn video in which there are some segments, and maybe that was the first one in which a porn actress appeared to that segment, and she had thin fingers, and she had her own fingers squirming. She had her own fingers squirm on the perineum of a porn actor, and both of them appeared to that segment of that porn video, and she was tickling his perineum, and her fingers were closed up. Her fingers were the vicinity, or how should I say, the area in which her fingers were tickling his perineum. His perineum had been closed up in that segment of that porn video, and that scene, or that segment of that porn video was attractive. So how should I say, that is a porn video of omnibus type. I don't know whether omnibus type, and which means, so that porn video has other stories, and I'm calling each story a segment, but actually, so it's fine to understand. Well, you can understand the meanings of segments as stories, interchangeably, and in this episode, only in this episode, and anyway, so the first story was really arousing for me. So which is why, so I well, and maybe the fourth story or the fourth segment was arousing. So for so in my perspective or in my predilection of sexual pleasure, anyway, so I have such kind of so sexual predilection or sexual preference, and how should I say? So there's nothing else to explain. But actually, so most people find the shaft and the scrotum and the anus they are sexual organs to stimulate or to tickle or to patriotic, in the case of sadomasochistic plays. And but actually, so maybe few people have for now few people have focused the perineum as a sexual organ. So recently, so many people began to realize that so foreskin plays be attractive. Foreskin plays are attractive, which is the understanding. Recently, people began to arrive at, or people began to reach. And I'm sorry for my complicated description, and I can't use English natively, so which is why my pronunciation becomes complicated. Of course, it's fine to think what to talk about earlier on, but actually, I don't tell you my personal situation, but actually, anyway, it's difficult for me to spare time, and including in the light of my ability. So it's difficult for me to think about what to talk about earlier on than this recording, or earlier on than the recording of each episode of podcast. And anyway, so recently, people began to find the foreskin play attractive, but actually many people haven't found the perineum great spot for stimulating. So which is why I created this episode. And so in the case of any type of sexual intercourse is fine. So for example, if you are thinking of of doing the play for tickling or stimulating the perineum of a man for creating porn videos or in the business of prostitution, so it's fine. And if you are thinking of if you are thinking of just enjoying sexual intercourse between with your lovers, between a girlfriend and a boyfriend, it's fine. So but actually, the perineum is recommendable place, which is what I do for arousing men, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So I'm thinking of ending this episode, and before actually ending this episode, I'm going to tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode. Wait a moment, please. Not this one, but this one. Not this one, but this one. And the title of this episode is "The perineum is a great spot to arouse men," and the conclusion is "Tickling the perineum of men is recommendable." And this is a repetition. So I'm going to tell you again that I wrote the word perineum as a singular form, but actually, so the correct term would be the perineums, but actually, so for me for the easier understanding for you, so I wrote the singular form, and so please understand that the perineum of the perineum is a great spot to arouse each man, which is what how I would like you to understand. But actually, this is the case to all the men, or almost all the men, I think. So which is why, so I inserted this additional explanation at last. So I'm sorry for my clumsy explanation in English language, but actually this is actually my own utmost performance. This is utmost performance for the utmost performance for me. So anyway, so please. Anyway, I think you have already understood what I'd like to tell you this time. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening. See you. And this is a correction, but so at first I said that the plural form of perineum, or I mean the plural form. What I said was that the plural form of the word perineum was perineums. But actually, this is a wrong answer. Well, so I mistake. So the word perineums is a mistake, and the correct plural form of the word perineum is perineum. So according to a dictionary, so the perineum is the correct plural form of perineum. But actually, so I think most of you can understand the meaning. Most of you can understand if somebody pronounces perineums, and you can find out the meaning of the word perineums. It would be the plural form of perineum, because maybe in some situations the word perineums would be used as the plural form of perineum. But actually, so anyway, the correct word of the plural form of perineum is perineum.